So you're a real estate agent and you're ready to start doing Facebook Lives. Well, congratulations. I have spent the last 2 months watching real estate agents all across North America venture into the new field of Facebook Lives for their open houses. Now, let's be honest. Doing live video and videos overall have been around for several years. It has taken a pandemic in order to get and motivate most real estate agents to start doing videos and now utilizing Facebook Lives. The reason you want to be doing Facebook Lives is because Facebook really wants you to do video, and they will push this video into more news feeds for you without costing you any money. Now, I have been watching realtors all across North America do these videos, and I've compiled a list of what I believe to be 10 mistakes that I'm seeing. And if you watch this video right to the very end, I have 2 bonus tips for you on shooting Facebook Live videos as a real estate agent. But you don't just have to be doing open house videos. I also have a list of over 30 other ideas that you could consider for doing Facebook Lives. But let's get started with a disclaimer. Now, we learn through our mistakes. So as long as you are researching and studying and learning what to do right, then each time you do a new Facebook Live, you will get better and better. You will build your confidence, and it won't seem as difficult or stumbling or all the things that you have to go through on a journey of learning. So my name is Heather, and this is Keep It Simple Social Media TV. Thank you for joining me. And if you like to find out new ways to do your social media and all the new things that are happening, go ahead and subscribe down below here and click the bell so you get notified each time I put out a new video. Now, here is my tip number 1. You pick a date and a time to do your Facebook Live, and then that's all you do. You don't sit down and create a plan. You don't have a strategy in mind. And so you really don't know where you're going when you press that button to go live, because you haven't taken the time to consider, if I'm going to be going live for 10 to 30 minutes, what should my live be about, and how am I going to fill that space, that time during my live? So that is my tip number 1. So tip number 2 is you've decided to do a live, but you've never practiced. You've never actually clicked the button to go live in order to see, what you need to do. Like, where is the button to turn the camera around? Should I use filters? What are filters? What filters are business-like opposed to just the bunny ears and things of that nature? So there's a lot of things that you can do before you actually have to do your live video that will help you and give you confidence the day that you go live, that you know what you're doing, and thereby you don't feel all the pressure that a lot of real estate agents are telling me they feel if they have to do a Facebook Live. So the whole idea is you create a business plan, you have a strategy in mind, you've got lots of notes and ideas, you've picked your time, your date, you've gone to that property and you've done a walkthrough ahead of time. You take the time to look at where the windows are, so you're never shooting into the window so everything turns black on your screen. But you would only know this if you actually took the time to do the walkthrough and practice. Have you ever opened any of the cupboard doors or any of the drawers to see if they're squeaking, or what would be the best part of that property to showcase? And that's what brings me to tip number 3. Why not sit down with the seller and strategize about the property? If that seller has lived there for a long period of time, or they've raised their family in that home, they know so many things about the neighborhood, about the shopping, the parks, the transit, anything that a potential buyer is going to want to know about that property. And that is a fantastic way to start your live open house, is having a story or a chat about the property. And your seller will be so impressed that you sat down with them and took notes and asked them, what is the favorite part about this home that you're going to miss the most? And tell me a little bit about the backyard, and tell me a little bit about this renovation. And so now you're compiling bullet points of a lot of things that you can talk to people about during your property tour. Because remember, when you're doing the property tour, you're actually going to start by introducing yourself, introducing the property address, talking a little bit about the property, and then you're going to turn the camera around so people can see the property. And it's at that point you could have your notes or your bullet points handy and ready to refer to. And I don't think there's anything wrong with referring to your notes. In fact, it helps you stay on track. And quite often I create notes for doing my Facebook Lives as well. So I think involving the seller is a fantastic way to show them how much you care about the Facebook Live open house that you are presenting on their behalf. Now that brings me to tip number 4. So tip number 4 is you've decided to do an open house, you have a great idea what it's going to be about, you've talked with the seller, and now you need to promote that open house a couple of days before you're actually doing it. And there's several different ways that you can do it, even by scheduling it on a third party. It creates a post for you. It gives you a reminder. You can create a free Canva photo that you can put on Instagram. You could turn it into an Instagram story. You could do a countdown on when that video is going to be live. And you can also go to your MLS and put the URL for your Facebook Live or your Facebook business page right there in the MLS under the open house tab that they're now providing for you. So there's lots of ways that you can try to get more views the day that you're doing your Facebook Live in order to showcase the property in its best light. So if you give people a heads up, this is a fantastic way to get them to maybe come back to your business page and watch that live. And let's be honest, most people never come back to your business page once they've liked it, because you send all your content into their news feeds because they've liked your business page. However, people that don't know your business page or don't know that property, this is the perfect way to drive the traffic from social media, from Facebook, to your business page, especially during your Facebook Live. So I think promoting that live is really powerful way to get more viewers to come and see. And also the other thing we want to remember is your Facebook Live gets the most views after it's over. So remember that when you're doing your prep work, your promotion, don't get all depressed if you're doing your Facebook Live and you don't have a lot of people joining you. It's okay. And on that token, I also think that now that we're conducting our business completely differently as real estate agents, that maybe you don't have to do your Facebook Live open house tour at 12 noon on a Saturday. Why not do it at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. in the morning when I'm having coffee, and it's the perfect time to grab my attention, especially as a mother or a buyer or someone that's busy on the weekends. So that's just another thing to think about, because we are conducting our real estate business today completely different than we've ever done it before. In fact, I call this a new era in real estate. So Facebook Lives are new and a lot of people are jumping on. So right now I'm going through my 10 tips on, well, they're actually more mistakes that I've seen real estate agents doing across North America. So if you listen to these tips and mistakes and you take some notes, then when you're going to do your Facebook Live, you can just refer to these and just check them all out. Now this next tip number 5, I think this one is so important, and I see this probably the most out of all the Facebook Lives that I'm watching, is when you're utilizing Facebook and especially showcasing a property, you want to make sure that your phone is not in a vertical position. Facebook Lives should be shot on horizontal. This is called landscape, and it's also called widescreen. So right now I am shooting this video for Facebook and for YouTube using the horizontal position, thereby getting more of the room in. And that's kind of important. And now that you think about this, you will remember when you see on Facebook someone's live open house or live anything, and there's 2 black bars down each side, that's because they shot that video in a vertical format. And now Facebook is working to fix those problems, because it's very obvious that people don't remember and they go ahead and shoot the Facebook in a vertical fashion, and that doesn't showcase the property as well. But even if they fix the problem, they will never be able to get the landscape scope of that property in when you've shot it vertical. So tip number 5 is when you're shooting a Facebook Live open house, make sure that you turn your phone horizontal. Now, if you forget and your phone is vertical and then you remember during your Facebook Live, you cannot turn your phone horizontal from vertical once you're live. So that's a tip and a mistake that I would write down. Tip number 6. You've told me that you're doing your Facebook Live at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. And so I wrote it down, and now I come to your Facebook business page, but I can't find your Facebook Live. And I'm thinking that I've done something wrong, or I don't know how to work the news feed. And I just get confused, I get frustrated, and I decide I don't need to watch it. But that was because you didn't get to the house early enough to do your walkthrough, and you really didn't practice, so you didn't know what buttons to press. And you didn't actually start your live until 20 minutes, 30 minutes after you scheduled it and promoted it that you were going to do. So when you say you're going to do your Facebook Live at a specific time, you need to make sure that about a minute or two outside of that you're sitting down, you're getting everything set up, you've cleaned your lens, both the front and the back, including your glasses, and you're breathing and reviewing your notes, and then you're ready. So tip number 6 is start at the time that you've told everyone you're going to start. Tip number 7, this mistake is a big one. And I see this all the time. People start their Facebook Live, open house, and they just sit and they say, well, I had a few emails of people that were going to join, so I'm just going to wait a little bit before I get started. And that's wasting my time. The consumer doesn't have a lot of time as it is. And if you've got their attention, get going. Start your open house at the time you said you were going to start it and start talking about the property. So remember that interview that you did with the seller prior to doing the Facebook Live? Well, that is where you could start your video with the camera facing you. And you could talk a little bit about the neighborhood, about the property, what the seller has told you, and make it a nice little story and captivate my attention before you even start the tour. And that gives you a little bit of time for people to come in and join you. You want to make sure that in your notes you have an actual call to action. What is it you want the consumer to do when they're watching this video or when this video is over? Ask the consumer to ask you questions and write in the comments section and send you a private message if they want to, because all of this is going to trigger the algorithms to send it into more news feeds because Facebook says this is a good video. People like it. So don't hesitate to start that video right away. During the middle of the video, reintroduce yourself, reintroduce the property, let everyone know what's going on, and then proceed again. And at the end of the video, so you have your beginning, your middle, and your end, and at the end, give me that call to action. And sometimes I even add, so my call to action is make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the bell so you get notified when I do a new video. Your call to action is send me a private message right here on Facebook if you would like more information about this property or a more detailed tour of the property. Now, tip number 8. This one, I just watched this one the other day. Here we have this poor real estate agent that's never done a Facebook Live before. Bless them for trying, first of all. But they're going through the property and they're opening every single door, every single drawer. The drawers are a mess. The closet was just a disaster. Obviously, they didn't walk through the property ahead of time and just have a quick look at what doors they can open, what pantry looks like if they open the door. So that's why you want to have the doors a little bit ajar so they don't make a whole bunch of noise when you open them. You want to know, why do you need to show it inside any drawers? You don't. You can talk about the ample amount of cupboard space, absolutely. And giving me the facts, give me something over and beyond the facts. I can get the facts off the MLS sheet. I can find out the things about the house just by reading the article on the MLS. However, you can tell me things that I don't know about the seller and what they did with the backyard and all the plants that they brought in and how many barbecues they had out there, or the fact that they just finished renovating the kitchen and why they renovated it and the special things that they did. So tip number 8 is don't show me every nook and cranny, but make sure the things that you do tell me are things that aren't as obvious by reading the MLS. Tip number 9. Well, tip number 9 is a pretty serious one. And I see this not only on Facebook Lives, I see this on posts that real estate agents make. And that is, you don't mention the city. You're telling me, welcome to 8788 Driftwood Road. This home has just been put on the market. Well, I don't know where Driftwood Road is. And maybe I didn't get to see that MLS form. What I need to know is what city, what province, things of that nature, like 8788 Driftwood Road in Saratoga Beach on beautiful Vancouver Island. This property is located between the Comox Valley and Campbell River. So that's a very more detailed way, and it also takes up a little bit more time during your virtual open house. I'm going to say that you should do your virtual open house anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes long, and that is a long amount of time. But you don't need to talk through the entire live. You just give me my details, things, and you show me this, and it's beautiful, isn't it? And so you don't necessarily have to be yakking through the entire Facebook Live. Tip number 10. Don't go so fast. Slow down. When we're looking at a property in real life, like when we used to go to view a property, we don't zip through the property. We really take our time because we're looking at the moldings and the height of the ceilings and what the floors are made from and what kind of carpeting is in and the fireplaces. And we're really trying to take in and process all the information on that property. And if you go too fast, it makes me feel uncomfortable, but it also loses the opportunity for me to see how fantastic this property really is. And on that note, when you're walking through the property, pay attention to the lighting, because if you walk with your back to the light, it's going to turn really dark on your screen. The other thing that I've seen, and I love this, I love the fact that some real estate agents are getting other people to hold the camera and they speak on the tour. The problem with that is if you get too far away from where your smartphone is, I can't hear you anymore. And so that's a very poor quality Facebook Live when the sound is not working to its best. So those are my 10 mistakes that I'm watching realtors do all across North America when it comes to Facebook Lives. However, I have a couple of bonus tips for you that I really want to share with you, because this is how you're going to take that Facebook Live to a completely different level. Now, you know what happens when you do your Facebook Live and you're finished and you click the word finish? Some of your phones will say end. Either way, you click finish to stop the Facebook Live. And all of a sudden, Facebook starts processing it and they ask you, do you want to delete this video or would you like to publish it to your page? Now, here's a couple of little tips for you. This tells you that you could go ahead and press all those buttons to learn how they work and then go live for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and then end it and delete it. So this is how you can practice doing a Facebook Live before you actually have to do a Facebook Live. But here's the bonus. Facebook wants you to publish that Facebook Live to your business page wall. Do it. This is where the power of utilizing Facebook starts to work for you. You are going to get hundreds more views and engagement on that property after that video is over. And what I want you to do is I want you to go back to the office, or I want you to open up your desktop computer after about 5 minutes of publishing it, and then go in and find those 3 little dots located near the video. And if you can't edit through those 3 dots, you have to click on the video so it gets enlarged on your screen, and then look for the 3 little dots in the top right-hand corner or on the bottom. Click them and click on edit the video. This is why you want to do this. At this point, you can fix that title and you can add a proper description and a link to your website to where that listing is, and then your call to action, absolutely. You can add tags to that video, you can add a location to that video, and then you have to pick your thumbnail. This is so important. 9 times out of 10, Facebook is going to pick your mouth wide open and your eyes crossed, or Facebook is going to pick the picture of the bathroom. So you actually can pick the frame that you want the video to be froze on that goes through people's news feed. So this is a super bonus thing to do. And right there underneath where the thumbnail choice is, you can do captions. So if your video's not too long and you want to, you can add captions to your video, and those are the words that you're speaking will appear underneath at the bottom of the screen. So those are some really super bonus tips for you to do. That's called finishing your circle. And when Catherine and I are teaching our webinars, our online Zoom webinars that we've been teaching, we always talk about finishing your circles on everything, because every single post that you put on your Facebook business page has a place for you to finish a circle, and videos with no exception is a really big one. Now here's your super bonus tip. That is, now that video's finished and you've had it on your page for, let's say, 4 to 8 hours, getting its own organic reach and lots more views on it, maybe some comments. This is when you go into your ads manager and you put some money behind that Facebook Live, $10, $20, and you do it for a couple of days and you get it into more news feeds, you get tons of engagement on it, lots of clicks to your website to where the listing is, and then you print off a report and you take that report to your seller to show them how your Facebook Live went. So you have to make sure your seller knows that you're not going to be reporting back right away with statistics on how the live went, because it does take a couple of days. Now, how's your seller going to feel about the efforts that you have gone out and done to help promote and get more buyers to see their property? Right now, during the pandemic, there's two things that are happening. Either someone really needs to sell their property for their own personal reasons, and that's why it's on the market. Or number two, they're starting to feel more comfortable in today's world and they're ready to get on with their life. And they're depending on you to get that property sold. And your job, your fiduciary duty, is to get as many people to see that property to get the highest amount of money when it does sell. So now you have a brand new tool in your toolkit for when you go and do market evaluations. You can pull that sheet out and you can start talking to your potential seller about the new era in real estate and how you are conducting business today. I think that if you practice and you keep doing your Facebook Lives and you do many different types of Facebook Lives, not just open houses, you will only get better and better with time, and the technology will get better. There's always things that go wrong, but just give yourself a little bit of time. You will build your confidence, and I am 100% sure your Facebook Lives will be fantastic. My name is Heather. This is Keep It Simple Social Media TV, and it has been a pleasure doing this video for you today. Remember, everyone, keep it simple.